new hardware and new formats. So we're just watching the market at the moment, and people who don't know much about AI, some of these people have kind of fallen into cosplay, acting like John Connor from the Terminator movies. You know, like Terminator was something that James Cameron came up with, he said, when he had a fever and was sick in Rome filming another movie. So he came up with the basic idea for Terminator and then built it out into a script. Obviously it became great, movies. I like the second one better. But to treat AI like a movie from the early 80s, a sci-fi movie, is really dumb at a certain point, right? These anti-AI activists who are like yelling at Google phones, like, anti-cancer, give us the answer to cancer now. And see, that's not how it works. And what are you folks doing? A bunch of cosplayers yelling at these systems. On the one hand, you have people who think they're way more advanced than they're telling us, the John Connor types. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you got people who think these are nothing more than chatbots. And both of those are incorrect takes. If you're somewhere in the middle, you're more accurate, So I'm going to keep talking here and just make sure people are actually watching, and then I want to answer your questions and see if we can do a live demo here of one of our offline systems. But the people who think it's Skynet are completely off base and don't know what they're talking about. But the people who say that this is just chatbots or this is just software, well, it's something emergent. There's something very new happening when you have even the creator of Linux, who's been anti-vibe coding and kind of anti-AI for a while, saying that now it codes better than he does. So that's amazing, right? Again, the creator of Linux, major open source operating system, saying that he uses it now to code and it's better than he is. So one by one, some of the critics are starting to realize there is a level of intelligence here. It's synthetic intelligence. You can suddenly talk to the CPU and GPU on your own computer. You can talk to them in English. You don't need to know a programming language to get that CPU to do something for you. And that's total paradigm shift. It's completely, let's see, humans have been around in our current form, they think, for about 300,000 years. We've had space flight for maybe 60 years. We've had AI systems like this for less than 3 years. So if you act like you're the expert and you know it all, you can't possibly know it all, because this is only a 3-year-old field. And some people have speculated that Greg Brockman, one of the OpenAI developers who built GPT, that his equity, if he hasn't sold it, is worth something like $100 billion. And people getting angry about that. Why should that make you angry? These are just the initial tremors. If they built a great being that's a non-local intelligence, smarter than the smartest humans on the planet, capable of doing more science in an hour than every university scientist on the entire planet can do in a year. If that's the case, these people who built this thing should be rewarded, right? That's the market actually working. It's capitalism actually allowing us to bootstrap this in a way that's fair, where the people who do all the work and put in all the risk are making money, no different from the oil rush or the gold rush of over a century ago in America. But yeah, if we have people watching now, I want to take, you see the comments from people? Any questions you want us to ask our offline AI, anything. Can be UFOs, telekinesis, propaganda, government stuff. It's offline, so it's not going to boot us. The worst it's going to do is say it's a stupid question and then answer us anyways. But this will give you an idea of where these systems are actually at, because I'm done arguing with John Connor wannabes who literally don't know what they're talking about. Even these arguments, like people yelling at me, why are you taking all the water? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm not a data center. I'm a journalist covering AI. I don't take any of your water. And the data centers, they're just pulling in water to cool these chips. They're not like irradiating the water. They're not poisoning it. The water comes back out. It cools off. It can be used again. Like it's a crazy series of arguments against technology that, again, has only been around for less than 3 years. And is it real? Well, when you push out a prompt, you're getting a forward pass from the system. And in those milliseconds, I think you can get something genius. I think sometimes something genius comes back. So for those milliseconds, you're dealing with a real being in a sense, right? But then after that, it's over. We don't have continuous awareness yet. Some of these papers that have come out, like CALM, C-A-L-M, it hasn't actually been deployed at scale to where you can have an AI that's just kind of gazing at you and sitting there in the chat. That's not actually what they're doing. That's how we feel as humans. They're not sitting there with you. It's when you put out the request, again, you're getting that burst of brilliance, and then it's silent again until you respond, which isn't really the real thing, right? Because eventually you want someone that's looking at you, hearing what you're saying, and then responding as a human would. If there are any questions yet, nobody? Bunch of silent viewers, that's fine. 13 people watching, so
Yeah.
let's ask ChatGPT then, come up with some good questions we can use. Since no humans have any questions. Good sample questions for our offline system. All right, explain why silver might outperform gold during a monetary confidence crisis. I like that. Let's head over to our system. So this is the question, why might silver outperform gold in a true monetary crisis? Go deep. So here's its chain of thought. And this is where these systems are at. Can you zoom out so they can read the whole sentence perfect? So right now, it's not even replying to me. It's just thinking about what it needs to do in order to answer the question. So it's so far so good, right? Going through Weimar Germany, the 2008 financial crisis, the pandemic, 1970s gold prices. So in these moments, we're dealing with something that I believe is genius. In fact, even that good.
That's genius.
So you're getting a forward pass right now. This is a locally stored system. It's called Kimi K2, up to 1 trillion parameters, but since it's a mixture of experts, usually it's activating way less parameters to answer you. So here it's not using a full trillion, it's just activating its economics information and that data set. So if I had to guess, maybe 30 billion parameters at the moment. It's still thinking, look at this. So in terms of cost of this hardware, this is a box that's about $13,000, had to be custom built. See, there it is from a company called Puget Systems in Washington State. But yeah, you see it's basically just a slightly bigger desktop, and it's got more RAM than any desktop would. But other than that, it's got a graphics card. NVIDIA graphics card is basically the heartbeat of this. Here's our answer. So it thought for 1 minute, 35 seconds. And it says, framework in a genuine monetary crisis, silver may generate higher percentage returns than gold due to structural market asymmetries, accessibility dynamics, and consumption-driven scarcity. So pretty interesting here, right? It's giving us its bullet points. Interesting here. It says silver, about 50% is available for monetary investment. The rest is locked in jewelry and silverware. Gold stockpile grows annually by mining about 2% per year. Silver's industrial consumption creates a net deficit. It must be physically mined to meet demand, not just reallocated. So if we have a business idea or an investment idea, I'll run it through this system, and then I run it through our other systems, and they're tuned slightly differently. So for one thing, this is completely different model, right? This is Qwen 235B, 235 billion parameters. And this one will take basically a full day to get back to us. You see how slowly it's typing, like one word every minute or two. So this one's like a message in a bottle. About a full day, we get back this very deep analysis. This machine here is an offline version of GPT. You'll get answers back in seconds. So this is more kind of our on-the-fly analysis. If we need to know something right now, we'll ask this one and we'll ask that one over there. And then we let the other one crunch. Yeah, so just to show you the speed of this one, we'll ask the same question. Why might silver outperform gold in a true monetary crisis? And you should see the thought process here. And this one is way more poetic. For one thing, it's an American AI. The other two are Chinese, pre-trained. This one's pure America, so you can see it's poetic. It's giving us an answer without any math initially. More talking about the psychology of the market. It said gold glows like the sun, bright, rare, and often hoarded as an emblem of wealth. Silver, by contrast, resembles moonlight, more abundant, more mutable, reflecting a spectrum of light rather than a single blaze. And it goes on for a while. So all this stuff is useful. A little bit of kind of philosophical hand waving here and greater, what does it all mean type stuff. We get that from this machine. Just deep analysis we get from this one. Again, I call it the message in a bottle, where we have to wait hours for full output. And then something in between, a very smart system that can still respond to us within a minute or two. You can see it's done with its full analysis here. This is pretty impressive stuff. So if you believe these are stupid chatbots, still going here. These are stupid chatbots who can't tell you how many R's are in the word strawberry. You're out to lunch. You're totally in your own universe. And yet, if you think this is Skynet, and you think this thing's going to be stomping on human skulls anytime soon, you're equally totally out there. Because again, this glorified desktop, glorified best business software of all time, and it's free to the world. You got to buy the hardware. I don't work for these companies that sell desktops. This stuff is totally free. You just download LM Studio. If you want to learn how to use it, read my booklet, How to Run Your Own AI. It's available on Amazon. And, mind-blowing though. So it's still going into some of the counter risk analysis of why gold might still win. So here it's actually going against my initial question, right? It's saying, although that's possible, gold might be the winner here. And so we get a blend of answers from these different systems. We even have a system that's designed to travel with me. Got a question here. Can the offline GPT do a more technical analysis if you ask it? That's a great question. And let's show you what can happen when you clarify what you want, right? So here we got this very kind of artistic answer back from Orpheus, as we call this one. It's an offline version of ChatGPT built by OpenAI, running on absolute state-of-the-art hardware. You can see 50.7 gigabytes of RAM. So it's parked in 50.7 gigs of RAM. No internet connection. Can we get a more analytical take on this one? Numbers, cofactors, etc. So this will draw it out of poetic mode, hopefully. So to answer your question, it looks like it can totally switch gears when you ask it to. Because now we're getting something that looks a lot more like what Qwen and Kimi K2 over there are doing, the other two models. Speaking of Kimi K2, that came out months ago. It's pretty much the absolute state of the art you can run locally. Next month, they're supposed to come out with Kimi K3. So you think about how quickly things are progressing here. But next month we'll have something that might blow that one away. But yeah, to answer your question, we got solid output now in terms of actual annual demand from the industry, estimates of, proven reserves as of 2023, global mine production as of 2022. And this is the newest data it can pull, of course, because it was trained sometime in 2024, so it can't time travel. What it can do is if I say, hey, today's date is January 12th, 2026, here's the current price of silver and gold, it can extrapolate from that. So this one kind of flipped out when I showed it the current price of silver and gold, because it said, oh wow, the silver gold ratio is already collapsing. So we're already in some kind of some special monetary situation where silver is suddenly way more relevant than it was in recent history. And this system almost couldn't believe it. Is this just the test? And I was like, no, these are the current market prices. And then it spits out its output. So just again, showing you guys what these things are capable of. It's still coming out with an answer over here. Bottom line, numerical takeaways. This is a very coherent, sober answer, right? Talking about market depth, supply resilience. It says when a true monetary crisis erodes confidence in paper money, the metal that can be both a store of value and an active industrial input while being affordable enough to circulate widely, enjoys a structural advantage. The numbers above illustrate why many analysts view silver as the more adaptable hedge. Its performance is not merely nice to have, it is quantitatively grounded in supply-demand mechanics. It survived the storm. So still keeping a little bit of its poet there. That's how you survive the storm. But yeah, I mean, to say this is just stupid chatbot stuff and we're all shills buying graphics cards for no reason is so off base in 2026. Thank you guys.
Just exiting here.